All right, good morning, guys. Fire away.
Steve, this is Keller Lyle from the Fort Collins, Colorado, and the CDC changed its guidelines yesterday for contact tracing, said 7 to 10 days instead of 14. Does that have any impact on you and your program? Does that get maybe some guys that would have been out last week back this week?
Well, that's my hope, but I'm not sure we're going by those. I don't know if we're following those guidelines, to be totally honest. I'm guessing we should be. I don't see why we're not, but I'm not. I try to tell you each time, like I'm not involved in any of this, and we have a bunch of guys that fit that criteria right now that would make a difference. But now, obviously we finished our Wednesday practice today already without them, but we certainly would have some availability based on that for the game. Where are we with all that? I don't know. I don't know. There's probably appropriate people that you could ask that question to that could give you that answer. I'm certainly not capable of it. But I see the same things that you see. And I know that would matter to us for sure. So I don't know. There's a lot of those kind of things out there that go on that are different in different places for different reasons.
I was just wondering if you had any further conversations. It was just issued late yesterday, is my understanding. So,
well, I brought it up this morning and have not really gotten a response. So, okay. Yeah, I saw the same thing you saw.
Were you still pretty light then in practice today, just like you had been earlier this week?
Yeah, we're really light.
But you have enough guys to play.
Right. Yeah, we do right now, but we're going to be missing a lot of starters.
Okay. Thanks.
Hey, Coach, this is Harpasani with the Sterling Journal-Advocate. Just obviously we know, it's been a crazy year, difficult for everybody in terms of just having the last two games off and, having to cancel last week. Mentally, where are all the players right now? Where are you and the coaching staff from a mental mindset?
That's a good question. Obviously something that as the head coach, I'm watching very carefully. And I would tell you that it has taken a toll. I mean, I kind of knew it would, but you just got to see, we're coming in here trying to establish a new program right now. And that's very, very difficult because it's not like, if you got your program set in stone and you're grinding and you guys know exactly, what the expectation level are, that's your best shot to weather through these kind of things. But we've been off for a fair amount of time. We've been up and down all season long. We're playing, we're not playing type of thing. And it takes a toll. And that's something though that I want to be clear about, that's where we have to grow and develop, because when you got a real strong, good program, you weather through that. But I call it the mental strain. In football, you got to learn how to mentally strain. And our guys have been working really hard this year to learn. What I mean is like, it could be all the way from the intensity and physicality of practice, but also to the demand of the mental preparation for a game. I found that here to be something that we need to really work on. And we have. So like our guys have probably said, we've been preparing, we've been grinding, and you know what, we have, but they need to get used to the fact that you got to push that grind even farther. So now here you are. You asked me this question. I was thinking about this today. That's why I'm kind of giving you a long-winded answer. I really had the same thing on my mind. And just think of it like this, like traditionally all of us in football right around now, you finished your regular season and you're getting ready for bowl prep. Okay. And it's been a long year. Well, you say, well, yeah, but we didn't start at the same time. I know, but I just think everyone's clock and mentality is the same, right? You can get into this time of year, just this time of year alone it's tiring. Then you add all the factors. You're on, you're off, you're canceled, you're not canceled, and all the other crap. And what happens is it wears you down. So as the head coach here, am I concerned about that right now? Hell yeah, I am. And, people just think, like, oh, well, we're just going to shut you down for 3 days. And I'm like, hey, well, let's just start right back up and go. We'll be all right. Like, how come are you going to win? There's so many factors. And then, contact trace, 13 people here and 7 here and shut this down 8 here. And it's going to have an effect. So what we have to do is just each day, prepare as hard as you can prepare with whoever you have, but build the fundamental base building blocks of your program and demand, and push and push and push. And it's all me a growing experience. So today, I thought our attitude on the practice field was damn good. I thought yesterday too, given all the crap, meaning, lack of numbers, guys doing double duty and all that stuff, I thought we had a good attitude. Now, execution level on the tape, I said it today before we started practicing the meetings. I thought in special teams it needed to be higher. And that's a sign. So it's my job as the head coach here. That's my job, to motivate, to push, to point it out, to try to extract more and grind and get the team to grind as hard as our team's going to grind right now. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, it's fatiguing in a different way, but I can't wait to play on Saturday. Skeleton crew, missing start, whatever, just go play, and because everything we do is an investment for our future moving forward. Today, tomorrow, and moving forward. It's an investment, and we're investing in it right now. And that's what I got to keep. I try to make sure the coaches stay focused on it, the players stay focused on it. We're growing as a team, and it's fun, and it'll be exciting. And I always say, you put it in the bank, and eventually you'll be able to take that withdrawal.
I think you did Terry Fry here. You just answered my question, I think, but I'll throw it out a different way. Can anything productive come out of this? We all understand the matters of prioritization and where this is down the road in terms of real life and everything else. But can anything productive come out of this?
Yeah, 100%. I guess maybe and I hope I'm portraying that the right way. 100%. Is it exactly what you'd want it to be? No, but I mean, yes, we're playing. Thank God. Could just easily not be playing, and we can grow, and we are growing, and it's going to be great in development. It's just sometimes, when you're competitive, it's frustrating because, and you get in your little world, as you pointed out, there are bigger concerns out there than football, right? We all know that. But it's still our livelihood. It's still our world. And in our world, and you're a competitor, you're competing, and you want to win everything you do, and you want to be the best you can be. And that's the way it has to be. So that's where it can get frustrating. And, when you're a competitor, you want it to all be right. Well, nothing's all right. So, to me, the biggest thing was, like a number of the leagues did, we should have started early, like we were supposed to have. Okay. And in hindsight, of course, hindsight is hindsight. But I mean, the problem now is the whole college football world. It's a day by day, week by week kind of. You're trying to, cram at the finish line here right now, and it's hard. It's getting harder every week, and we all know that. And your comment to start this out is exactly right. There are bigger problems than football. I mean, let's not lose sight. It's our world, but lives are way more important.
As you refer to, you're kind of in that gray area, the later league to start up, earlier than the Pac-12 though. But in any way, shape, or form, are you second guessing the decision to play at all? Would you rather have under these circumstances?
No. I thank God every day we're playing. No, it's the right thing to do to play. Are you kidding me? No. This is good. It's good for everybody. I mean, like if we weren't playing, it wouldn't be like the virus wouldn't still. Football's not creating the virus. Let's get that clear. I mean, that's been documented in our program. I mean, and it's around the whole country. So I think if anything, it gives us a focus and a discipline, and I think there's a lot of positives, and that's why we're trying to do everything in our power with protocols and safety measures to keep everybody as safe as we can as we play this. And so, like, don't ever take for 1 minute that I believe that wholeheartedly. We got to err on the side of safety and caution and everything else. But it's kind of like, is it right, to get the kids back in school? Yes, get in school. I mean, be in school, be able to participate in athletics and sports. And I see with young people how important that can be. I mean, without that, sometimes the things that, young people and older people go through, and the emotionals, depressions, all kinds of stuff. And I think there's risk, but I think the risk is worth it. As long as you hold the right protocol. So no, I never second guess playing. I hope I prefaced it that way. I'm grateful and thank God we are. Like everybody else, we're competitive. We get caught in the moment, and it's our world. And so what happens is sometimes you've got to always try to keep a bigger perspective. And I hope I'm portraying that, because I do believe that there's a bigger perspective here than just the wins and the losses. But as you guys know, in our business, though, wins and losses matter. I mean, you get, some of these coaches, you saw a couple guys already get fired. So, I mean, somewhere in the middle, reality falls.
Hey, Coach Harpasani again. We've seen in the last 2 weeks, Rashad Bateman at Minnesota opt out in the middle of the season, Terrence Marshall at LSU. Both those programs are having some trouble of their own at the moment. Have you heard from any of your players, like, concerns about finishing the season or thoughts about potentially leaving early, or do you think everybody's all in at this moment?
It's hard to know all of that. I don't have any indication of any of that right now, but that doesn't mean that, an hour from now, a day from now, a week from now, that those conversations aren't going to occur. So I don't know. Try to be as proactive as possible and try to be in the know as much as you can. But yeah, it's happening throughout the country, and it's all different for different reasons. And, some things make sense, some things don't make sense. Yeah, I mean, it's out there. We've dealt with them, some of the, opt-out stuff earlier in the year. Those are personal decisions, and, so I don't know, right now, I'm not dealing with that right now. But I don't know what tomorrow brings.
Steve, this is Keller Lyle again from the Fort Collins, Colorado. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about just John Vivens and kind of what he's gone through this year. I understand that you and Coach Guyton went to his mom's funeral, and just how has he handled everything he's gone through from your standpoint to become a significant contributor to your football team this season?
He's a remarkable young guy, really, really great to be around, fun to be around. And he's made a position change, from receiver to running back. And I tell you, I am so impressed with him every day. He's a guy that brings it every day. He's got a focus. He wants to be great. He wants to be coached. I love his attitude. I love him. He's a wonderful young guy, really. And I think he's going to be a hell of a player. I do. I think we're just scratching at the surface right now. But I think he's in the right position, and I think he's really going to blossom. I really, really do like him a lot. And he's been through a lot, and, having lost a parent at a young age, I know what that's all about. And but he's a remarkable young guy, and really, really proud to have him on our team, be around him.
What were the things that you saw that made you convinced that he could help you as a running back? I mean, he's been a receiver. He did both in high school, different years, depending.
Yeah. Well, we saw him run after catch, and he just had a lot of explosiveness, and he had a lot of really good vision, change of direction. You could just see it, and he has decent size. And so, you said, I just felt like he looked more like a running back. And I'm always looking for those guys that, the other piece of me was looking for that hybridness of a guy that can play in the receiver and in the backfield. And originally, that's kind of how that started. But then as you saw it, you said, this guy's going to really be a hell of a back. He reminds me of what's his name, Kamara from the Saints. He's got ball skills. He's kind of a dynamic guy, and just really, really talented. But I got to tell you, along everything I said, I'm really impressed with his mentality, the way he approaches practice and the game every day. I love it. I love it. So I think we got a special guy there, and and it's been a lot. That's been as fun as anything that's emerged this season, to tell you the truth. So I think that's a guy you're gonna see have a hell of a career here at Colorado State.
Thanks.
Coach Harpasani again. In terms of, obviously with everything being difficult all around, have any of the players specifically kind of stepped up into a leadership role to try and keep everyone's spirits up? Any of the seniors or any specific position or anything like that?
Yeah, I think a number of guys have. I think guys in their own way are trying to be leaders. What's interesting to me, like leadership is challenged in these times because part of being a football team is the togetherness of it. You know what I mean? And part of playing football is that camaraderie in the locker room. It's the on the field. It's the eating together. It's all of that stuff. I miss all of that. And I feel like that's a void. And so you're trying to play a team game separated. You know what I mean? And I miss that. That doesn't mean there aren't guys stepping up being leaders. I mean, they are. I think, the captains, DJ and Trey, and are trying to do those things. Manny, Scott Patchen, Cam Reddy. I mean, there's a bunch of guys. The guys that love ball, that shines through, and you need to be around as many of those guys that love ball as you can in these times. You gotta love ball. It's challenging, it's hard, so you gotta have a real passion for it. And those guys that have a passion for it, they bring that every day to practice. But true leadership, to me is, that's the piece that you wish. I can't wait for next year or when this vaccine comes and we can have this thing behind us. I know it's a process, it won't be right away, but I just really believe that we're missing that. I love all that stuff, and you don't get it, like, it's like our offices, like, we can't have, a lot of different people up in the offices, you can't, have big, large gatherings eating together. There's just a lot, you can't have guys over your house. You can't, all those things that help to breed chemistry and leadership and everything else are hard to do when everyone's trying to be, just the word, or, just think about it, right? You're trying to build a team and the buzzword is social distance. So guys, they don't really go hand in hand, but it's a temporary phenomena, and and as my grandmother used to say, this too shall pass, and hopefully sooner than later.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, guys. Thanks for the time, man. We got some players here that want to talk to you.
Hey guys, go ahead for Quinn.
Hello.
Hey Quinn, Justin Michael of DNVR here. Obviously been pretty frustrating with half your games getting canceled, but I'm, kind of curious from looking at things on a positive side, where do you think the defense has shown the most growth so far this season?
As a defense, I think we've shown the most growth as a D-line and as a unit. From last year, we were really good at the pass, but not very good in the run. And this year we have exceeded ourselves going against the run really well. And I feel like we've improved in that a lot. And as a unit, we just, we're a lot more talkative, a lot more communicating, a lot more being on the same page, and it's definitely helping out. And I feel like even though we've missed those 2 games, I feel like we'll still be fine. We'll still be in the same mojo that we've had.
San Diego State, they bring a lot of speed to the field offensively. What are the coaches emphasizing to you guys as a secondary? What do you got to look out for in this matchup?
We're going to look out a lot for verticals coming out from them, but we're mostly worried about the run. We're not really worried about the pass, but we just want to stop them on the run because they are a running team. And when they do throw those long balls, as DBs, we know we can cover them, and we know that we can protect ourselves in the deep routes. So I think we'll be fine on that point.
Quinn, this is Keller Lyle from the Fort Collins, Colorado, and they're kind of San Diego State's being a little coy about saying who their quarterback's going to be. Obviously, you've seen a lot of different quarterbacks play for that team on film. Yeah. What are the differences you guys see, and what kind of look are you preparing for? Because they look a little different depending on who's at QB.
Yeah, I remember we were watching a lot of film in the first game of the season. They threw a lot in the first half. They were trying to complete passes, and they were. But I do know that I believe that their quarterback's here. We don't know. We don't know if he's coming back this week or not. But we're going to be prepared. We're going to be prepared a lot for the run because they are a running team and they do like to run the ball. And this will most likely be one of the best O-lines that we are going to go against. And so we are just going to try to prepare for that. We're going to prepare for them to run the ball hard and also try to take deep shots.
Chuck
Hey, Quinn.
Peter has a background with the secondary. What has he done? What has he brought to the table to help you improve your game? And do you relate well to him, given that he's kind of an older guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has a lot of knowledge. He knows a lot about football. He's been doing this for almost 50 years, it seems like. And but he's very intelligent. He knows a lot about defense. He knows a lot about safety. He knows a lot about tackling. He knows a lot about covering. So every single thing that he tells us, we all are very attentive to it. We don't argue. We don't talk back. We kind of we listen and we take it. And it's been working out, and it's been working out well for us.
Hey, Quinn, this is Harp Asani with the Sterling Journal-Advocate. I was asking Coach about this before. Obviously, having 2 games canceled and all that's been pretty difficult. Where do you think you and the rest of the team are in terms of just kind of coping through the difficulties of this year?
Yeah, losing those 2 games, it was rough. I remember we were all in the stadium when Coach Addazio told us that our second game was canceled, and a lot of us were just pissed off. But we know that we need to keep a level head because it's not just happening to us; it's happening all across the country. And so we know that, and we know that we need to keep a level head, and we also know that we need to keep grinding. And we've been doing that. We've been trying as hard as we can. We've been practicing as hard as we can, and we've been showing up every day. And dealing with this COVID stuff, it's hard, but we are preparing and we're grinding us every day. So.
Quinn, one quick, Kelly Lyle with Colorado, and again, Coach said you guys have been really light in practice as far as you've got guys out with positive COVID tests, contact tracing, regular injuries and illnesses. How difficult has that been the last few days to get ready for a game and be light so many guys?
It's tough, but the thing is, you just got to keep grinding. We might not have enough people, but we're gonna play who we can play, and we're gonna practice as much as we can. And we know that we'll be live maybe sometimes in, I don't know, D-line or DBs or receivers, but whoever is there is gonna practice to their full potential and is going to give it all, and we'll be ready for the game hopefully. So I believe that even though we are light in numbers, we have a lot of players who are being attentive and is taking every single day as hard as they can. And so I feel like just doing that and knowing that our defense and offense is taking those steps, I feel like we'll be okay.
Thanks.
Anything else?
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Questions for Hubbard?
Hey, this is Justin Michael of DNVR. Obviously been kind of frustrating getting half your games canceled. Where have you seen the most growth from the defensive side? And, how have you guys been limited by not being able to get all these reps in?
Yeah, we've grown tremendously just with learning how to keep our consistency going and our blitzes and run stops. So there's those 2 games that we missed or were canceled didn't really stop us from practicing hard and studying film and keeping the same momentum going from Boise. We might have lost that game and we had to get ready for UNLV and Air Force, but we kept going to the grind every day. So nothing really changed there.
Chuck Heater, he's kind of an older guy, but it seems like he's done a good job of connecting with you guys. What is your impression of him as a defensive coordinator? Has he connected well with the defensive line?
Yeah, he definitely has. I love Coach Heater. He's a little old, but he knows how to connect with us. He knows how to teach us what to do. He's real, I would like to say, real active in showing us how to run a defense, how he actually still can move pretty well for how old he is. And just he loves to talk to us, chat up with us, show us, D-line, how this works with the safeties or the backers, just how the whole defense works as a whole.
Ellison, this is Kelly Lyle with Fort Collins, Colorado. Just coach said you guys have been really light on numbers in practice this week because of positive COVID tests, quarantine tracing, et cetera. How tough has that been to just kind of get ready for a game knowing you're down so many people? And do you have enough in your mind that you can put a good effort on the field with what you've got on Saturday?
Yeah. So, you know, it is kind of difficult, especially with COVID and things like that, and contact tracing. So, you know, we've been doing the best we can with who we got. I mean, it didn't change anything for the D-line because the defensive line last year and the years before, we always were short. And then the O-line kind of had those struggles. So it's kind of been nothing we're used to. You know, we're working through what we been through before. So it's just simple. Just keep working, grinding. You're going to go out there and play hard. And if somebody goes down, we have, you know, one or two backups. So there's nothing really a challenge for us right now.
Justin Michael here again. You know, the defensive line has really gotten a lot of pressure this year, one of the highest rates in the entire country. What do you think's been, you know, different for you guys? I know you guys had some success down the stretch last year, but, you know, what's kind of been the difference for you guys this season?
Honestly, it's the coaching. The coaching has pushed us to a max that we've never been through. And it's actually pulled out a different beast in us. So we're playing with a higher level, higher intensity because you mess up, you do something wrong, the next guy's in. So it's a lot of pressure on you to play hard. You know, they came from the ACC, excuse me. So they know how to rotate guys in. And if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, studying film, putting the work ethic in, then the next guy's going up. You don't want that to happen. So guys are like, we're going to go hard. We're going to put pressure in. We're going to do everything we can. And then when game day comes, all that stuff we did in practice, you know, going 100 miles per hour in practice, you know, being tired, sweating, drenching, it's in a game, it's easy.
Patrick O'Brien said yesterday that he felt like this coaching staff has just given this team a new attitude, like you guys are tougher. It sounds like you kind of agree with along with that statement.
Yeah, definitely. This coaching staff, they definitely know toughness is key to win the game. And we kind of tried to implement that last year with Coach Bobo and that staff, but this staff has really brought that in, really put it on us. These periods and practices, they really put us through the test. And when it happens in practice, in the game, it's flawless. It's easy for us. So it's really just the mindset they brought here and the mindset we grabbed on, even with the short amount of time we had because of COVID. So, you know, I agree with Pat 100%.